Starting at the bottom left of the map, we have the man with the twitch starting for LGIM. Most famous twitching in the StarCraft 2 universe. It is
LGIM Roshra!
I'm just hoping we get a shot of it.
Yeah.
Good enough. Look at how fast he is, though. It's insane.
Is it weird if I say that I'm in love with how he presses keys? It's really weird, but
I don't think that's weird.
If you just compare it to how other people play, it's just so different. To the top right of Daybreak, we have his opponent, though. It's the Protoss player starting in blue. Took down 2 players already. Yonghwa and Yoda fell victim to his builds. He is
MVP! Cage!
Took both games from low ground to high ground, really sticking with his name, flying up there in both games.
one of my most favorite, or it's probably actually my favorite StarCraft 2 song that's out there. It's from Tempo, When I'm Grandmaster. I love it. It's so beautiful.
Great. He's a great artist for StarCraft 2 songs.
And if you guys actually look up the video on YouTube, you go to YouTube and you look for When I'm Grandmaster, you'll find the video immediately. You will see a small part where Lucira plays and where you can see his hands as well. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. It looks so awesome. It's so different from how anyone else in the industry actually uses his hands to and his keyboard. It's pretty cool. Yeah. And the song itself is also very awesome. I mean, it's really old, so I think it came out like a few weeks after the game was released.
I would check it out.
Yeah.
I mean,
you might not know it, so definitely look it up.
Yeah, if you don't know it by now, it's something you should probably check out.
The White Drop part is the best one. No. With the special tactics, I love that.
You really like that song.
Yeah, I know it by heart.
I like the Dan parody of Stan. Really, I'm really into that song. I was down for that when that came out. I thought it was really funny.
Yeah, there were really a lot of good ones. Do you remember that Butterfly song?
Maybe.
It was everywhere. It was so annoying. I really hated it. But then before StarCraft 2 even was released, there was like a StarCraft 2 version of it. It's not really all that popular, but it was just so funny. I love the lyrics. But well, anyways, we have actual StarCraft 2 on screen right now, so we don't have to talk about the songs.
Nexus first into, of course, Forge, and now the gate being added. Very safe play. And Lucira, on the other hand, already has his queen out. He made 4 lings. Lucira is a player who can be aggressive, and that's what we talked about earlier, but he doesn't necessarily have to be. You know what's cool about this for Tails is now, with this final game that he's playing in right now, he will have played against all races. He played a PvP, won it with high vision. He won a Protoss versus Terran with that same high vision. What if he goes for like one of those Void Ray Zealot all-ins on this map and does something similar? That would be pretty funny if he just kept doing consistent observer or high ground vision tactics.
It would be pretty cool. Not sure if we're really going to see it. There's the cancel, by the way, on the second gateway and then straight into the cybernetics core. But yeah, at this point he loses his he scouted the third, right? Could you just double check?
I think so.
No, he actually didn't see it. So he didn't check the third. And there is the second, the second cannon because of it. He doesn't really know what's going on, so he wants to be safe.
Yeah, he actually makes 3 cannons.
Wow. He's really afraid, isn't he?
And that's one of the problems that you face if you don't get that scout off. It's a big mistake to not check the third base. That's a ton of minerals lost. In fact, even if you scout that there's no third base, 3 cannons is kind of overkill. And he's expecting something aggressive from Lucira. This is what we even already talked about, because playing a straight-up game against Tails seems like he's the aggressor. If you play a defensive strategy or a macro strategy, he may just find your weak point and kill you.
On the other hand, Lucira now with a pretty normal and basic style that he plays. He has the 3 bases and he's going for it. On the other hand, we have now Tails with a lot of gas banked up.
No +1. It's got to be Stargate. There's no other choice. There it is. He makes it underneath the Overlord saying, hey, I'm going Stargate.
I'm interesting.
Robo now as well. Is this a fake? I mean, we very rarely see fakes like this, and he will actually see the Robo as well. So.
He sees the Robo, he sees the Stargate. I'm really interested in what exactly Tails is up to right now. As soon as he sees the Robo, he actually moves back again, and he sees now the Stargate. He will see completed.
This is without +1, and this is like really late, both of them.
Yeah.
So it's not a build that I can look at right now and tell you exactly what's going to happen next.
It's also that there are so few Protoss players who will still play the Stargate build on Daybreak, MC being one of them. There are a few, But I feel like this is not the best build on this map. So many Zerg players are really confident in defending Stargate play. One of the things that, well, Lucira has to do, of course, is now try to save his Overlords, trying to protect with extra Queens. He's already building additional ones. He's currently at 4, he will build a 5th, and therefore he is safe against just the normal Phoenix play. There's the Warp Prism. It might actually be exactly the style that JYP chose to play on Metropolis, where he started to clean off the Overlords and then used the Warp Prism to go into the main base and drop the sentries so that he could force field the ramp. That might be exactly what Tails is trying to do here.
Yeah, he may be able to use the Phoenixes to help defend his Warp Prism as well. 3 gates now being added.
And most of the time it's just trying to kill the Overlords, because what you need to do as a Zerg play, if you want to prevent the ramp of being force fielded, you need early detection. And currently, if we look at the bottom left, there aren't even Overlords or creep spread in the main base of Lucira, so he doesn't really see what's coming. And this could be exactly the build that we just talked about. 5 gates are being built. I think that's going to be it, Wolf.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see sentries coming up next.
He's just gonna... Oh, he's making a robotic support bait now too, though.
Oh, yeah.
This is kind of weird. Oh, the Warp Prism. Will he's going to be spotted by the Watchtower? Yes.
Sees it.
Now he can just pull into the main with his Lings. He does not have speed, though. It's going to make it a little bit tougher to defend.
No, he does.
Does he?
I'm pretty sure he researched it earlier.
He canceled it. He did start it. I saw it on the tab. You're right. And he must have canceled it. When he saw the Phoenixes, he decided to cancel. I don't think this is going to work at all. Even with the production, he makes 6 Zealots. This is a big commitment. He's going to need to use these Phoenixes to help defend, and that's exactly what he sends them in here for.
He waits for the rest of the Queens. He doesn't immediately commit. He waits for the rest of his Queens, and now he tries to take down the Warp Prism. This doesn't really work.
Yeah, this was kind of weird. He's starting Colossi now to follow this up, and with all the gateway production he has, he's... I don't want to say he's all in, but he basically has to attack again.
Well,
he can't just take a third.
He kind of is all in with this.
Yeah, I mean, it basically is. Like, he can take a third and try to use his production to defend it, but he's lost so much time already, and that attack was a lot of invested resources that didn't pay off.
Yeah, you know, and usually, as I said, we had JYP playing this style and a few other Protoss players where they try to deny scouting and then just warp in sentries, or drop sentries and warp in units, force field the ramp, but this did not work at all. The Xel'Naga Watchtower spotted the Warp Prism. From this point on, Lucira was in the know. He knew exactly what's going on. And Tails, with this follow-up on 2 bases with Colossi, will have to hit a really perfect timing if he wants to do damage here. But now he's moving out to the 3rd. It looks a little bit like he's trying to take this 3rd base. I'm just not sure if this is really something that Lucira is going to allow.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Lucira has a choice right now. He can either try to take down this 3rd base and just send wave after wave over to the right side of the map, or he can expand and take a 4th and a 5th base.
Look how long it takes for Phoenixes to kill a Roach. I mean, this just doesn't seem like enough units. He doesn't have range, he only has 1 Colossus here. So many units coming through now.
Spire now for the Corruptors, and at the same time trying to force a cancel on the Nexus, but he doesn't really have the numbers.
Yeah, and with no speed on those Lings, the attack looked a little bit flimsy.
Yeah, the units are streaming in here 1 by 1, and I don't know, this was awkward by Lucira.
I feel like if he waited and got all of his units together without speed, then he could have just kind of did like a burst attack where all of his units are together, and even though he doesn't have speed, they're all on top of things. And
if you attack with full force, then it's a different story, but if you send the units in 1 by 1, then it's not going to do a lot of damage.
Especially
so now,
with that many sentries.
Yeah, and with the build that we now have, suddenly Lucira finds himself in a position where he can't really take down the 3rd anymore. So Tails will get it.
The game is basically evened out now.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit more difficult for Lucira also to protect his own 4th and to get into these spaces.
Nice warp in here to block, and the Colossus is ready. So hard for him to approach and do damage, like you said.
That was a little bit... Yeah, I don't know. Well, the Corruptors will join the battle soon. We have the Spire now being
He's
completed.
really forcing it here, and I don't like that. He's got the Infestation Pit coming up, and he's got the 4th base. Why force the issue here? It's so scary to try to commit against that many sentries. If you kill the sentries earlier, you have a lot more freedom to do stuff like this, but don't overextend, because you're going to get trapped, Lucira. You step into that ring one more time.
Lucira needs to get the better economy now. He's already building the 4th. He could even try to get a 5th base, but it's going to be difficult to defend it with the units that he lost earlier. Regarding the upgrades, he's in a pretty good position. He's also getting now Infestors, and the Corruptors are on the map. +1 attack for range and also for air has been started. But he's losing more and more units to these Phoenixes. Finally, the Corrupt is coming in and trying to put an end to it.
Yeah, he drops that cancel. You know, with 4 Phoenixes, you can kill a Queen, you can kill a Roach. So it's very annoying to have to deal with that small group there. Killing a Roach takes forever, and it's not like the end of the world if you kill a Roach on the middle of the map. But I like that he's utilized these Phoenixes till the end and made them a big problem.
If he wants to... I was just about to say he has to press the D button, he has to press it hard, and then he starts to build the drones. That's exactly what he needs, because with 66 Harvesters right now...
With a 4th base, it's not...
Exactly. With the 4th base coming up, him wanting him probably to take another one as well, you need a few more Harvesters, especially because at some point you also want to throw down a few Spine Crawlers.
And those Spine Crawlers are exactly what he's need against this push. I'm really worried for him because the composition he has is so Ling heavy that once all the Lings evaporate, I don't think he... even if he kills the Colossi with the Corruptors, they're going to do the damage to clean up the Lings, and the Stalkers are going to be a problem. He needs to focus well. He does so far, but look at these force fields. This is not a good engagement for Lucero, but some Lings get in.
He takes down the Warp Prism first, and that's of course cool to make sure that there are no additional Warp Ins, but those Colossi, they kill every single Zergling before they die.
Too many Corruptors. And there's no Spine Crawlers. He's making 70 Lings right now, but that's going to be a larva problem.
And what exactly are 70 Lings going to do? Oh wow, okay, he has the Fungals right now, so that's really important.
That's what he needs. He needs to get another key one. If he can grab these units one more time.
Don't forget, we don't have the Warp Prism anymore, so Warp-Ins are definitely a problem for Tails, but still, Lucero is losing a lot here. The Fungals are good, but there are just so many Stalkers, and they're heavily upgraded. But 2 Zerglings are also dealing out a decent amount of damage.
Especially with that Corruption. He actually used Corruption on every one of those Corruptors. That's something we don't see very often. I'm really impressed by that.
That is so true. This is something that we've missed a lot of times. Zerg players that don't use Corruption, but he utilizes the spell.
Yeah, every single one of those Stalkers was corrupted. I really, really like that. That is something that I think more and more people need to start doing.
Yeah, on the other hand, this army is pretty decent for Tails. He has a pretty strong army. He's lacking these high-tier units, though, but he's building another Colossus and at the same time trying to take his 4th base. So this game is actually back and forth. Both of those players with a few awkward decisions. The first one being Tails with the strategy that he tried to execute. Then Lucero throwing away a lot of units. But it makes up for a very interesting and very exciting game.
I really would like to see he makes a temple.
Oh, wow.
Here, 12 Infestors. I would like to see the Fleet Beacon before the Twilight Council sometimes in these games. Or instead of before the Temple Archives. Before the Twilight Council would be pretty crazy. Because now the Broodlords are going to become a problem. He gets this because he knows that the Hive is a little bit late. With all the Corruptors, he's going to be like, no, there's no way you have a Greater Spire on the way yet. You have way too many Corruptors for that. That's so much gas spent on those. And the Infestors as well. There's no way there's a Greater Spire. But he's going to want to make sure that he gets that Fleet Beacon up very soon, regardless of whether he gets it before Temple Archives or not, because Storm is going to be useful, but so is the Mothership. It's absolutely necessary for him to have it if he wants to win a game on this map.
Here comes Lucero.
Wow.
He's committing. He's trying to go in here. The Corrupt is leading the charge, taking down those Colossi, and a lot of Infestors with the Fungals, with the Infested Terrans. This is a lot of aggression by Lucero here.
I don't know if it's enough. The Zealots are just ripping through everything. The last Colossus will fall.
Picking up a few of these Infestors.
He needs to get the Infestors out, but only a few of them escape. He needs to grab those. Nice grab on the Stalkers to save them. This game is still really even, I feel, but where is the Fleet Beacon?
You know, there's another problem for Tails. He has all of his Nexi on one hotkey, and the problem is that some of them are on 100 energy, so he's actually losing Chrono Boost energy here that he could use for the upgrades that he had the entire time. Yeah, that's actually one of the Nexi that is on 100 energy, and it has been on 100 for minutes. So that's one of the biggest problems. If you actually have every single Nexus on one hotkey and you try to Chrono Boost the structure, the Nexus that is closest to the structure will be used. So you always have to check the Nexi that are farther away from the structures, from your forges, in order to make sure that you really distribute it evenly.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually a tip that a lot of people don't know. In fact, I think you were the first person who told me that. I didn't even know that myself. I always wondered why Chrono was so weird like that, but
he could actually use the energy right now for the armor upgrade, for example, and earlier he had to get the upgrades. Oh, wait a second, here we go once
nice
again.
Snipe on the Infestor, and no Fungal was hit there. This is a dangerous moment for Lucero because he waited so long to get his Hive Tech out, and this is why This is why he didn't get the fleet beacon, because he knows he can actually just bully on the map like this and use the gas rather for Archons.
And this time Tails has an observer. Last time he didn't have it. He would have lost so many. Lucero would have lost so many infestors if there would have been an observer. But this time it's there, so he can't use burrow this effectively anymore. And look at all these lings. There's such a ling-heavy composition against Archons and against all of these highly upgraded zealots and stalkers.
Yeah, even the Infested Terran's not able to do a ton of DPS right now. The Infested Terran upgrades at just +1.
These attacks just hit at the perfect time. The Greater Spire isn't done, +3/+3 isn't done either.
But he overwhelms the Stalkers, at least for now. He's got to blink them back.
The reinforcements are there though, and he takes down the Infestors.
Yeah, a blink forward there was a bit risky because he doesn't know exactly what's behind there, but it's going to end up working out really nicely for him. He's taking out the last of these roaches. The next warpment of 11 Zealots is on the other side of those rocks.
God. And suddenly there's also not enough money for Lucero left to morph Broodlords. He doesn't have them, and he loses so many Infestors. This fourth base is under pressure and will most likely die. This is just incredible by Tails. Can he do it again? Can he take down another LGIM player?
Looks like it, man. He's going to take out the rest of these lings. And the drones go down. GG!
Wow, Tails.
Oh, man.
Lucero startled here. Oh my god, Tails is on fire today.
Yeah, he really is.
3 wins already, and LGIM is down 3 games.
Yeah, they got to call out the last player. And Tails he's killed 1 player from every race now. That Sniper there on the top left of the booth with that smile, actually just...
Sniper's actually angry. He's like, what are you doing? I wanted to play today. I need a few points for the individual ranking,
like,
brother.
Come on, man.
Give me at least 1. Give me 1.
The booth over there for LGIM is looking a bit somber.
And they are faced with a very difficult decision now. Who do you send out? They're down to the last man standing. I feel it kind of has to be MVP. Who do you think they could send out? I mean, there's still so many players left. You could have Nesty. I don't think it's going to be him.
I think actually MVP, or some people
MC.
may question this. Actually, I forgot about him. MC's always in the booth, and he looks like a good support just to be there with them, but I forget that he actually could come out and play. Okay, now I think there's 3 choices. Either MVP, or MC, or Happy. I think Happy might have the resilience to actually take several wins here. But
yeah, maybe, but I feel
it's not an ST.
I think it has to be
not
MVP.
first, I don't think. And MVP seems the most likely choice. You know, even from a perspective of like for the fans and to put out like the master, it just seems like everything comes to a point here, and it's like, of course MVP is our guy now.
We have Antigua left, Whirlwind, and Ohana. I'm still a little bit baffled by
MVP
this
on
pen, by the way.
Ohana with a tank build. I see that. I could see that. And I think it's going to be him. He's sitting up there.
Sits at the top right. It is him. It is MVP.
Nearly getting 5 GSL champions. He wants
So
that
close.
trophy. So close indeed. And actually falling out of Codes, so it's not going to be his season this time.
Yep. But now the question is rather, is it going to be time for Tails? Because we have the MVP Protoss player with 3 wins already. If he takes down MVP, it is over for LGIM. This is our last player.
He's played in GSTL 11 times. Some memorable moments in his play, by far. My favorite MVP moment is MVP versus Squirtle on Terminus Re. But he is the master. Hardly anybody knows StarCraft 2 better than him, especially not Terran-wise.
Well, before we head into the game, that could be the final game today. We have another 5-minute break, and then we are back with the GSTL with MVP up against Tails. See you in a few.
I don't know if someone else could handle me. I don't know what I'm supposed to be.